Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's the three of us now without Erasmo.
We
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 have
have him
Frankie
tied up
and
in the
Maggie,
back.
right? You can see him in the background at Frankie's place.
Yes, over in the back. If you hear any
Hey,
munching,
how's it going,
that's
Frankie? How you been, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just hanging out. Busy Friday. Had a lot of work. Got out a little bit late, but glad to be here. With you two. I'm glad Erasmo's not here. A lot of crazy news with going on. What's
He's
going
known
on
as
in
the other guy.
yeah, a lot of things going on with in the world with Russia. Here locally today, Erasmo posted something about Roy de los Santos making sure that his partner assistant got a job, which we'll be talking more into that a little bit later, and just a lot of things going on. The carnival's going on, so just a lot of things going on within our city. Lots to talk about.
Cool, man. I know there's a lot of detail and going back and forth with the whole Russia thing. But man, that's a handful right there.
yeah.
How's your day going, Maggie?
I came home straight for a nap.
Already cool.
Yeah, I didn't wear. This is when you can tell you're old. When at the end of the day you realize your shoes do not provide good support. They were cute, but dang, I was tired. My back was tired.
I'm just
We had
wondering
fun.
if you're doing like a countdown for your retirement.
Yes,
You are
kind of. I kind of am. Yeah, we
kind of.
haven't brought it up very much. I wonder. Everybody at work knows I am. I haven't officially announced it. I told it us, but don't say anything yet. But yes, I'm retiring at the end of the school year. I did already do my paperwork. I'm
Cool,
out.
cool. Do you have any plans afterwards?
I'm actually gonna take care of my parents. That's the main reason why I'm out. My mom is 85 and my dad is 90. They're getting to the point where they need someone to be hanging out with
Yeah.
them, helping them drive them around and to doctor's appointments.
Yeah.
And I just the other thing is I've always said I wanted to retire when I was 50ish, young enough to enjoy retirement, rather than when I was 60ish and in more pain, back pain and leg pain. So
Yeah.
kind of now. I
Nah, my mother's at 75 and I'm already there. Of like
yeah. I
having
don't
to
know how
take
much
care.
when I'll be back though, because I've got a sophomore in high school and
Where are your
she's
parents
got
at, Maggie?
here in Brownsville.
Okay.
Yeah. I told my dad I thought they were gonna think I'm a loser because I didn't keep working like they did into their 60s and 70s. And my dad was like, "No, we're glad you couldn't do it at a younger age." So and I was
I
like,
think
"Oh, I
that's
didn't even think about that, huh?"
I think that's everybody's goal, no? Because, the retirement age is what, 65, 66, 67, depending on,
Yeah.
I guess, how late you started.
Yeah.
Border Patrol age is my cousin. He's going to graduate in his 40s, early 50s. I think that's everybody's goal, to be able to, retire, have a steady income, and then just do something else with your life. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and actually, and I was talking to my cousins who are about my same age, and I thought they were gonna be also like, "Hello, loser, sigue trabajando. Like, what are you gonna stay home for?" And they asked me, "What are you gonna stay home?" And I'm like, "Well, aside from my mom and dad, that's gonna be the main thing." I'm even realizing I'm
Hey,
probably
but
gonna have to be
that's
strict.
a handful though. Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
I know. Oh, yeah, I
That's a
know.
handful.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize it
But
too.
just sort of like I'm not too sure if I'm being intrusive, but they're still know of their like surroundings, right? They don't have
They're still
dementia
good.
or
My
anything like that.
yes, my dad is 90. He still wants to drive them around, and I'm
Yeah.
like, no, we're done. A friend of mine told me, why don't you put sugar in their gas tank? And my mom's like, you don't have to do that. Just take the battery out of the car if you want to stop us from driving. There's no need to
Yeah,
damage
you
the
can just
car.
add
Huh?
like a kill switch to it.
Is there a way?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just connected to the battery. You can just take it to a shop, and just tell them to add a kill switch. They'll just like put like a flip switch on it.
Okay. Because yeah, they're not wanting to wait for me. I'm like, wait until I retire and I'll drive you guys around. I
Yeah,
think I'm probably going to end up having to spend the night, probably most of the week also with them to take care of them. But yeah, my mom sews all day long, cross stitches. She cross stitches and she crochets. So she keeps busy like that. And my dad loves watching old movies. So they keep busy. They still cook for
oh, that's
themselves.
good.
Yeah, they're still pretty independent. It's the driving around that worries me. And the if
Yeah,
they fall
and there
and
has
hit their
been
head.
cases of like I guess older people getting lost.
Yes.
Even like that case of that gentleman, was he ever found? Don't from downtown?
I don't know. Frankie, do you know?
I I I think he was because I shared a post and lately I saw that it was taken down or it was private. So I'm guessing I think I did see something that he was his family was
Was okay.
located. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm to the point that I'm thinking of buying those Apple tags that come with like a wristwatch type of deal,
Yeah. For you or for
so
your
I can
parents?
know like where they're at.
How old are your parents?
75, 76.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my
So
mom's 75 and my stepdad's 76.
yeah, so that's
But
the thing. And then when I was talking,
she's in the point where like one moment she knows that like what's going on, and one moment like, oh, I forgot what I was talking about type of deal.
oh, okay. Yeah, and I was talking to my cousins, and they were like, "So, what are you planning on doing?" I'm like, "Okay, well, then there's a vegetable garden. I want to sew. I also want to cross stitch. I could probably do like teaching online courses or something." And
Yeah.
I thought my cousins were going to be like, "That's loca," and then they're like, "No, you have it all planned out." It like I don't, and I've talked to people who say they won't retire because what are they going to do at home? And I'm thinking read books, do puzzles, start up a vegetable garden, have chickens, except starting to think maybe not on the chickens. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, I have a countdown going.
All right, cool. O'Shea says, "Hey Frankie, I think everybody's glad that Frankie's here."
Yes.
Cat says, "Hey everyone."
That's it. Those are all the comments.
No, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Frankie's back. Let me see. Snoopy, saying hi to everybody. Pájara Peggy, hola a todos. ¿O dónde está Erasmo? Al rato viene. Espero que al rato llegue. Oye García, hello. Luis Rodriguez says, another A and B in my MBA program. Good evening. 2 nights kicking Erasmo off his show. Great job. Laughing out loud. Frankie and the weather. Hello, Maggie and Sam. Hey, how's it going, Luis?
Did
Just here.
did y'all did y'all see the press release that was, I think, I don't know if you were talking about it earlier before we came on,
Not,
that the guy was released from custody on the first. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I
The
was trying to
Mosted?
get like the more details on it, because what I was telling Maggie is that I had gone out on the 28th of February, and I could have sworn that I saw the guy, and then I see the press release that he was released on the 1st of March. So
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know if it was. Now I'm questioning myself if that's a correct date, or maybe I confused the guy with somebody else.
what's your take, Maggie? Because here it says on the Valley Central that he used an app to share videos of child pornography. Now, what's your take? Like, my understanding or my idea is that if there's like an egregious crime, something like this involving children, that our judicial system would be kind of a little bit harsher on them and wouldn't allow them to post bond because they might pose a threat or they might do it again. What's your take? You know is it common, or do you feel safe, or is it okay?
I thought the same thing. Like I thought he was in and not going to be allowed out. But then I'm wondering what Sam's been saying. If he didn't give up bigger fish, and that's why he was allowed out. I've been thinking
Yeah,
that that's
because they gave him
probably
a $10,000 bond, but that's after the when I guess they went through the case on the 26th of February. They went over the
Yeah.
case. They gave him a $10,000 cash bond, I think, out of the $150,000 bond that was given to him, and then he was given with the whole monitoring system, which is like being house arrest, and then they took away all his internet, I guess, privileges, and he can't have any phones or iPads or anything like that. He cannot be close by 100 feet by any child or schools or anything like that.
Maybe it wasn't as serious. Well, like, don't get me wrong, anything to do with children and of these allegations is very, very
Yeah.
serious. But I
It's
find it
because
very
you're trying to
weird.
compare it. You're trying to compare it with people who actually produced videos, people that
Yeah,
produced
but
the videos who got kids. Because there's a case recently that there was a couple, and the guy was getting the kids from his girlfriend and making videos, and these kids were like 5, 6, 7 years old, and he was making videos. Now that's producing videos. This guy was only receiving videos and redistributing videos through that Telegram app that he has.
But I
they're
would have
still-
thought it's the same. I would have thought like Frankie too, that the transmission of videos also is a bad enough
they also
offense.
get
And then
they're
don't
getting like about the least I saw there was 4 years on people, because recently they've been tracking them down, because what they're doing is they'll go through the phone and they see who he sent it to, and then they'll track that person and see who he sent it to, and that's how they're getting everybody.
And then don't they do like per transmission or sending? That's each an offense.
What I saw, it was just like, okay, he received it, it's one offense, and he distributed it was another offense.
And then also, I'm surprised the bond was not more. Like
Well,
I
they have it at 150,000.
It was 150, but with 10,000 cash.
Yeah.
So his family just had to produce what, 1,000 if a bond company wanted to post bond for them. They only have to come up with $1,000.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought a bond company.
Well, that's the way the bond company works. They get 10%.
Yeah,
they get 10% from you, and they put up their unless federal court is different.
I
But
thought
my
it was like
understanding
from
is
150, they wanted 10 for sure.
Yeah,
No,
I thought you had to provide 10% for sure cash.
right. Yeah, the 10%, the cash, the bond agent posts it, but the family pays the agent $1,000, because let's say a family can't afford the $10,000 up front, so they go to a broker, a bond person. Yeah, and the bond puts up like an assurity. He doesn't necessarily give the money up, but he says, hey, look, I got insurance, I'm good enough for it. The family's gonna, I'll make arrangements with the family.
So I didn't know it was that
they
little
have the
amount.
money for it.
But it's like,
they have the money.
And it was true at the very end of the article. It states that that they're infants, 3 to 6 months of age. So they're allowing, and again, this is a federal judge. This is not no state judge. This is a federal judge. So for him to and again, the people who agree to the bond are the defense attorneys and the prosecutors. They have to go before a judge and say, look, judge, this is what we recommend. Not necessarily that the judge is going to agree to it, but it's just a recommendation. Like, look, judge, this is what we would like for you to consider. So for that even to be granted, it's kind of like I don't know. It's a little weird, to be honest.
Yeah, it didn't seem not excessive, but it didn't seem like the punishment fit the crime so far.
But I think right now it's just like for the moment, isn't it? Or that's like his final thing, like just being on parole or probation or whatever they call it.
Well, he's out on bail. So I mean, we don't know if there's going to be other charges or more charges brought up against him. I mean, this is just to tie him in. We don't know to the extent of what they find, and what he's going to give in. I think, and I think Frankie would know a little bit more about this, but I think there's a lot more coming. No, Frankie?
Yeah, because I saw about 6 reports right now, or 6, I guess, editings there from the HSI, and they were all like in the 20, 30 years sentencings from all this, like the producing and reproducing and receiving pornography, child pornography. It's all like, it's nothing short of like 5-10 years, nothing like that. It's all like 15-20 years.
Well, it's still a little bit crazy. I don't know. It just caught my attention how he was allowed to, but then where's he going to work? Who's going to give him a job?
That's why his mom moved down. His mom was
do? That's what I was thinking about.
His mom was the executive director for the foundation. She had to move down from Austin, and she lives here in Brownsville. And now he's in a house arrest. There in the address that's posted in the. And
I was thinking the same thing. You can't get a job. You can't live anywhere near or be around where children are. You got all your phone and everything taken away. Like, what do you do?
How do you expect to work? How do you expect to look for a job?
I mean, like Erasmo says, okay, so the family has money, but still, like any other person, I was thinking about that too. Not that I'm going to worry about them because.
Hey, but that's what you got to think about before doing all that nonsense.
But what kind of trips me out is why didn't or maybe they did, I don't know, they probably did, but the prosecutors, why did they object to that? Hey, look, this guy's nowhere to go, he's got nothing to do. But again, in the eyes of the law, you should be given
either that or
a
jail.
reasonable. You should be given a reasonable bond, a reasonable bail. Like that is customary, but it's just like it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
All in all.
Yeah, but what house doesn't have internet?
Yeah.
Now, no, but that goes to the probation office to see how tough they're going to be on this guy. They're going to be checking up on him. Are they going to go like once a week, once a month, to check that he's got no access to phones, laptops, Wi-Fi, internet? Because nowadays, just about any device, guys, could hook up to Wi-Fi. It doesn't necessarily have to be a phone. It could be an iPad. It could be a PlayStation. It could be there's so many different gadgets out there that you don't need a phone to get to go online and search the web. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just pretty crazy.
Herman Patty says, now this is a real show. Everyone is giving a chance to speak and hold dialogue with no interruption from Mr. Know-It-All. Pongan a Roman so he can finally speak. And there's a black screen. Delete it. Roman says that he's in a party.
I love it. Erasmo missed on that whole comment. He needs to come back so we can have him hear it.
So we can repeat it.
Yes.
Ray says, hello, Cheese, Frankie, and the amazing Maggie.
Thank
How's
you.
it going, Ray? Frankie, are you in Erasmo's house? Looks like his backdrop from last night's show.
No, he's in the Seinfeld house. Is that the Seinfeld house?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Frankie, tan guapo, ¿a dónde vamos esta noche?
Frankie always dresses up.
A dormir.
Okay, so then here's the other thing. And Mayor Trey Mendez, please, you need to realize, if you're watching the show, which I don't know, do you take the time to watch the show? But if you're watching the show, please, you need to realize that we don't want you to start getting petty and making comments. I mean, you're
not Donald Trump.
Why? Give an example. What happened or what?
What was it he did? He made that comment today he did the news release about the whole thing, the same thing, the Children's Museum issue.
Yeah.
Okay, he gave his official statement on Mostad.
Okay.
And then
thank you.
He gave his official statement.
Sorry, and then he linked the RGV article, which was from January 20-something. So it was 6 weeks ago. Go on, Sam.
No, you said it.
No, I'm very sorry. And then,
he said that he put the post to make an official statement because everybody's been asking like, hey, how come you make a post, an official statement about the mural tagging and you post her picture and everything else, but yet when this guy came out, which is a more serious offense, having someone who's downloading child pornography and redistributing, how come you don't post anything on him? How come you don't give your official statement? And that's when everybody went at him.
I think the correct thing to do would have been to say, hey, look, this is an ongoing investigation. We are aware. We want to make sure that nobody was harmed, and there will be counseling available if anybody needs it for any reason. But that should have come out maybe a day or two after the fact. That it's 6 weeks. Maybe he knows something obviously that we don't, or what was the lack of promptness?
Like,
because
what was the reason behind it?
Again, there's so many doubts, so many questions. So it's best for us to hear from our elected officials, our mayor.
Yeah, but he didn't say anything.
Just to reassure, I guess, the community, because again, we all have questions, we all have doubts, and once like 3 or 4 people hear the story, it's already been changed so many different times. You know what I mean? So in order for the city, for the Children's Museum to put a stop to that, they just let it go, and now we're barely getting word from that. So it is a little bit kind of.
But then when Snoopy said something, he's like, "Oh, you who hide behind the fake
profile."
Yes, and I'm like, you know what? So, like, that's neither here nor there. He starts getting petty, answering to Erasmo, answering to Sam. I think he made a comment, answering to Snoopy. And we don't need that. We don't need that from an official. If you're thinking they're going low, then go high. Come on. And so it gets.
Because we're just trying to go like straight to the point, why beat around the bush? We just want straight answers, be transparent, and just come straight out with it. And then he gave a statement about 6 weeks after the fact instead of coming out with it right away. But I guess he had to clarify everything that way he doesn't get in trouble with the lawyers from the Children's Museum and the foundation because everybody else is involved. And I guess that's the reason. But then once they put it out, they were like, "Hey, well, Erasmo had already told us everything about this." So, like in a way, Snoopy was like, "Oh well, thanks for clarifying or giving your statement," you know. And then he was like, "Oh, you're hiding behind a fake profile, like you're hiding behind a fake how you follow your fake prophet, no sé qué rollo." And
Yes.
then,
Oh, you're a disciple. That was
He
the other
said
thing
that.
too.
He said that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Look. One thing, and look, it's difficult. You know, being mayor, being elected official, it is a very difficult job. You know, it's not easy being in a position where everybody's just, you know, but at the same time, everybody who goes that route should know the responsibilities. You know, especially dealing with a big city such as Brownsville.
Yes.
So and I think the mayor. And look, I like the mayor. You know, I'll give him a thumbs up for at least being out there. Look, we have been after him on the 300,000 K request loan. We have been on him for the winter storm, the Tanasca. We have yet to hear about Tanasca. You know, that's also a hot commodity that a lot of people that a lot of people want to get word from. So and look, and I think that's his way of like throwing jabs, because it's easy for somebody like Erasmo, Sam, Maggie, Frankie to come on the tube and like talk smack. It's easy. You know, it's easy for us because we have Erasmo's platform. So we're able to stand on a hill and we're throwing flechas everywhere. The mayor doesn't really have that. And again, it would be improper. It wouldn't look, you know, correct for him to be on here. And but that's his way.
Several times
that's
over.
his way. That's his way of taking jabs back at us and talking smack. Is that correct? Is that petty? But that's his way. That's his way of dealing with this tension that he has, you know.
I think he needs to live and learn, and from here on after, don't engage, because what he said was Erasmo had nothing to do with my statement. And then Snoop said, "Okay, Trex, as usual, you get so triggered. Fine, take the credit. It's all yours." And then he answered and says, "You're a good disciple behind a fake profile. Beware false prophets, though. Just saying." So, I mean, he just gets, like she said, he gets triggered easy. And he responds, really, if you want
he
to
also has
hear,
a platform. We cannot just say that we're just sitting behind the YouTube platform and just throwing jabs at him. Like, he has a platform where the whole city follows him. Well, most of it. And the ones that try to get involved. But, like,
let me
he
tell
also
you,
has a way to say, but he could be not cordial about it, but be clear about it.
And when COVID first came out, and I was now paying attention to what's going on in the city, because I really was oblivious of what was going on in politics and everything. But when COVID first came on, another friend who's also an Erasmo follower and I started messaging each other what the mayor was saying. And we both agreed we liked him. We both agreed we liked the way he responded at the very beginning of COVID. We both kept talking about how we were following the mayor and we liked some of the things he was saying. Over the past 2 years, I don't think that my friend and I are alone in the fact that we're starting to not appreciate the way he addresses things. And it's just like, you know what? Just rise above it. And it's like you said, also, we're sitting here throwing flechas. People who post comments come on here and throw flechas at us. And and it's hot. It can hurt a little bit. You just get to the point where you're like, I mean, you're not paying my bills.
So it's just a matter of fact of just answering the question, and he could just clarify it, because he didn't make a statement until it coincidentally, Erasmo had a conversation with Roy de los Santos, and coincidentally, I guess the conversation was about that, and then coincidentally, 2 days later, he released a statement, a day or two later. So, and then he's like, "Oh, it wasn't because of Erasmo." I'm like, okay, but you had to make a statement one day or another, and he just happens to be after Roy de los Santos, which he stated that him, Trey, and Roy de los Santos were going to make like a statement.
Yep. But
and then here's Snoopy says, "I'm not going to give thanks or give credit to Erasmo anymore on Trex post, because then my man Trex will get mad. Pobrecito, justice for Trex."
Nice one, Snoopy.
Snoopy, el Trex es muy delicado, por todo se ofende. True. I like how Roman questioned the mayor if Mostert was an employee more than once at the Children's Museum. Funny how Trey neglected to mention that.
Okay.
And there's several things.
He was employed twice. When was this?
He was rehired twice, so he was an employee 3 times, from what I understand. Erasmo somewhere in here. Erasmo, can you give us that information?
Because he started in 2019.
He was an employee. He was an employee when. Yeah, he was an employee when the federal law enforcement came to the Brownsville Children's Museum, or Children's Brownsville Museum, whatever it's called. They went there and they interviewed him there, and they showed him the evidence that they had, and he admitted it, and then they took him from there.
But previous
that's the
to
part
that,
of the story that.
But
previous to that, he was hired. Yeah, he was hired. He was fired, and then they made him hire him again.
And then was he fired the second time for what was he fired the first time for? Was the second time for smoking pot, or was it the first time?
He wasn't fired for smoking pot. He was only fired for posting. This is he goes out there and he posts, "F the museum. It's horrible. It's terrible." And the museum rightfully says, "You know what? Hasta la vista, baby. We can't have that type of individual. Talking smack about the museum if they're going to be out there working for the museum and with the children." So they rightfully terminated him. Someone, and I would dare say it was in the Mideast, someone out there went out there and said, y'all need to hire him back. That is one of the reasons why Felipe was a little bit in regards to apprehensive when they tried to pull it on him. Like, well, you should have known better. He goes like, wait, y'all the ones that made me hire him back.
And then he got fired or what? Suspended for smoking pot on the parking lot. Right?
Well, we don't know if there was a suspension. We don't know if there was a suspension or he was terminated, but he wasn't terminated because he was still an employee when he got arrested.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I thought he had gotten fired and then rehired. So I thought it was twice rehire, 3 times on the job.
No, I cannot confirm that he got fired, terminated after he was smoking pot in the parking lot.
Well, the museum of the Children's Museum, they are technically what, city employees?
No.
It's kind of a weird,
like it's under the umbrella, no?
Yes, it's under the umbrella. That's correct.
If they are under an umbrella, we're able to see, because they are kind of considered city employees. We could request a Information Act, a Freedom of Information Act, to see if he had any disciplinary actions against him. No, there should be a record of it.
Yeah, like open records.
Yeah, like I would think that there was some sort of records. If he had, if they fired him once for, talking smack on the tube, for smoking weed, just those things, come on, grounds for termination. And then they hired him back. It's kind of like, what the hell? I wish I could do that. I wish I could freaking talk smack about my employer, go smoke weed outside the parking lot, and then be like, hey, am I gonna get a third chance or not? All right, thanks.
It's because this guy is the kid of the executive director from the foundation. So in a way, it's like, hey, whatever they want, it's what it goes, Okay, continue with comments. It says, Snoopy, yes, Pájara Peggy. I gave Trey credit for posting about Mostad, but the moment I thank Erasmo and the community, he loses it. Yeah, and he got pretty crazy there in the comments. Dolores Perez says, I love the profession, but retired in 2018. Best decision though. The trajectory of my life changed. Glad to be there for whatever my parents have needed. You cannot buy that time or attention. That's very, very true. Because you would hate yourself for like not giving yourself that time.
Yeah.
Herman Patty says, a much better show without Erasmo. Now you can now you all can actually talk without interruptions. Frankie Teresian, good. Ray says, I'm retired. I teach chess.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that. I thought that was like your full profession always, or for a long time. I had all these plans on raising chickens and selling organic eggs and free range eggs, and I all had this plan. Had talked to my husband. I had a chicken coop already. The plans for a chicken coop set up in the backyard, everything. And then I found out that they only, and Joe Valdez and I have talked about it, and he informed me even more, that they
The
only
city?
give good amount of eggs for about 3 years. And then they start giving less eggs. And I had thought, well, if I have 10 chickens, in 3 years, I'm going to have to buy 10 more chickens. And in 3 years, I have to buy 10 more chickens. What am I going to do with all these chickens? And I'm
No,
not
pues
going to,
Carlito.
no, because these are kind of like pets. I'm looking
Maggie's
at it
doing
from a pet's point of view, not necessarily from a profit point of view.
Maggie's
Mhm.
doing the Joe Valdez and Jessica Puente Bradshaw.
I didn't know
Yeah, but
Jessica Puente
hey,
also had, and I
that'll be
even,
some fresh chicken soup, man. You can't
and
go wrong with that.
no, I cannot eat Chloe and Susie and Meredith once I've
What?
named them. And then I joined some Facebook groups, and then they start like showing all the things that they get sick, and I'm thinking, no, this is turning out to be more than I planned.
Yeah. Well, Snoopy says that she's gonna create a fake account called Maggie's Chickens instead
We'll
of
see.
the guy de Joe Valdez. And it says Russian inflation.
Here we go for sure.
Yeah. Dice Snoopy le saca la vuelta porque sabe bien que es bien su culpabilidad por todo lo que sabe y en parte está involucrado. I would need some more details on that.
I think she meant I thought she meant they're talking about the mayors back and forth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know that y'all were talking about it, and let me say, I just thought it was kind of, one of the things that I've always made mention. We've got to applaud them when they, finally do something right. I didn't even throw a jab in that post. I mean, y'all saw this.
Yeah.
I didn't throw a post in regards to saying, finally, I just went out there and said, thank you for addressing it, because again, Frankie mentioned this. It took 6 weeks.
Yeah.
6 weeks, guys, before any information was done. Now, my concern is, and I don't care what he goes out there and says, because everyone says, well, Erasmo doesn't deserve any credit. And that's fine. He could go out there and believe that if he wants.
Mm-hmm.
But the question for everyone out there in the community is, do you really think if we hadn't placed as much pressure as we all did, because it wasn't just me, guys. Let me say this. There was actually an army of parents out there that were out there and are concerned with the same thing. So everyone's out there putting pressure on the Children's Museum, on the elected officials. It's not just an Erasmo thing. As much as the mayor may want to say, well, it's the false prophet thing, that's fine. That's just a point of view. But again, the question is, if we hadn't been so adamant about it, would they have come clean? Now, look at the timing, guys. Look at the timing. By this time, the mayor already knew that Channel 4 was going to come out with that story because it came out today. The Channel 4 finally, was it the Brownsville Herald and my RGV? They finally came out with whoever came out with a story today, they finally came out with a story. So, I mean, the timing is like, oh, everyone's going to throw it out there. Let me go out there and give a statement.
Yeah, because it was just an update from the actual case. Because I know you posted like for the RGV.com, you posted when they posted it first time on January 26th. And today's post was just, I guess, the release of this guy.
But even the release, and again, this is one of the
like
things
3 days late.
This is one of the things that we had made mention, guys. Remember, we said, why are you excluding that he was picked up from the Children's Museum? It was very, very selective. Even the journalism here sucks because no one would have known that he was picked up by the Children's Museum if it hadn't been for all of us. And that's just the God honest truth. They would not have known. And that's what really stirred up the pot. Again, and what I told the Children's Museum board and I told Commissioner de los Santos, if y'all would have nipped it in the bud when it was right here, you let it go all this way to bring it back here, the confidence and the trust of the citizens, the parents of Brownsville, that canijo, man,
Yeah.
when they should have addressed it at the start. But we don't only have to blame our elected officials. We also have to blame our local media. Our local media sucks, because that's the story. And that was our point when we brought it out, guys. That's the story, that he worked for the Children's Museum. That would have made channels 6 p.m., 10 p.m., every day, all week.
It should have.
It should, but it would have made the whole news thing, Maggie.
Yeah, I know, and it should have, but it didn't.
It
That's
didn't
the problem.
They were selective in the information that they share with the public because they knew. Now we know that they knew that he was picked up at the museum. They just opted to exclude it. Doesn't it look that way, Frankie?
It's hard to say. And for the mayor to post it today and then the story to come out today, they probably asked him for a comment, and being in a position like him, he knows what's going to be published or not. They'll give him the heads up. It's just very difficult, and how do you spin this? How do you say, hey, we were in our right mind to try and gather our information before we actually went in and gave a statement? I don't know. It just seems weird. And this whole hiring and firing, this sounds bad, but are we shocked? Really? This happens in Brownsville. This happens in Cameron County day in and day out. El hijo de papi or la Sancha, el Sancho. Everybody gets hired. So it's one of those things where, we really shouldn't be shocked that, oh my God, this kid whose parents, have a foundation, he got a job after he cursed out the museum and he was smoking weed. Like, we really shouldn't be doing that. Now, is it wrong? Is it ethically, immoral? Probably. But now, it just goes to show that people are more aware of these things. Now, did these individuals have knowledge that he was into these things? It's hard to say, you know what I mean? But a favor goes a long way, as we all know. Do you honestly think the mayor, did he not know about? Honestly, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. Like in my opinion, I don't think so. I don't think he knew. It's hard for me to even know what Sam's doing, what Erasmo's doing, what Maggie's doing. We really don't know. So it's kind of hard for us to say, oh, Trey knew his past and, he was he dressed up in drag, so he's automatically a bad person. Not necessarily.
No. I agree with you there, Frankie, because we actually had this discussion. Remember, Maggie? We actually had this discussion because I have nothing against his lifestyle, nothing against the way he dresses. I mean, I think Roman had some concerns. I made it very, very clear, point and clear. I have nothing against him dressing as a female. More power to him. And I don't think that should exclude the individual from getting a job anywhere.
Absolutely.
100%. I'm going to stay by that. With that said, what you mentioned, Frankie, is very, very true. It's the connection thing, the compadrismo thing that should concern everyone because he got hired because of the middies. And because, and I'm sorry, and I know you want to give the mayor the benefit of the doubt, Frankie, but everything, and we've talked about this before, everything is connected. Yeah. Everything. It seems everything is connected. Mayor sells property to middies, middies buy property. How did the mayor know? Goes out there. The middies, the kid of the CEO for the middies, again, gets a job. He does these crimes and nothing is said. I mean, it's just, it's just too much of a coincidence, no?
Yeah. And there's times, so I mean, I don't see the connections. I don't know who knows what. Last night that Ms. Murillo said something about 77, I'm getting distracted because I'm trying to read them also. What is it? Where you go play. Ya se me fue la onda.
777. The bingo. Yes.
I never remember. I didn't know. Now I know, but I didn't remember. Mike, you should have been here earlier. I never remember that that's owned by the Lucios. And she was pointing out the fact that there was a huge truck out there for one of the candidates out in the parking lot. So I don't make these connections. And that's one of the things that I like about having Erasmo here is because he's the one who knows who owns what. He's the one who remembers who had what office. He's the one who remembers who's done the criminal acts. And you're the one who's able to make all these connections. And I need that. I don't always have that information.
Well, and that's part of the thing. Most of Brownsville don't have the information. But this is why we elect people to keep us informed of what is going on in our city.
But they're not doing that. And
they're not doing that because it is concerning. Maggie, if you were to find out 5-6 months later that Patricia Alejandra, was in a place where there was someone that was photographing women in the restrooms, and then you don't find out after 6 months, wouldn't you be pissed off?
Yes.
Super.
And very worried, because then you start overthinking it.
Exactly.
Was she there when it happened?
Yes.
How did she have was the connection? Yes.
And that's exactly what the parents are going through. And again, and like I told this to the Children's Museum board. I told this to Mr. Santos. Sir, the problem is there's been no statement. Nothing has come out. So people are going, did he take my child to the restroom?
Mm-hmm.
Film my child? Was I 6-month-old in one of those videos? And you and Frankie mentioned this earlier. You let the people's imagination go everywhere. But whose fault is it? The people's imagination or the individuals who neglected to inform us what was going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they haven't charged him of producing any child pornography, just the fact of just receiving and redistributing. But it's still, they have to go through all the videos that he downloaded through those 2 years that he was downloading videos and pictures.
But at the same time, it's like Erasmo says, you don't know what he's been doing on the side. Okay, we know now he did this, but we don't know what else he was doing on the side while at work, while at home, while taking care of someone else's kids. I mean, and that's the problem, is you start finding out little by little, and
for all you know, he could have been for all you know, he could have been fantasizing while working there with the kids.
Well, my thing is, I don't know if y'all mentioned this earlier or not, but was he using city emails? Was he using city Wi-Fi? Did he distribute with city emails, with city Wi-Fi? I mean, was that also included? We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was using the Telegraph app.
Yeah.
That one I'm not familiar with.
Me neither. They've been using I know there's another one called Kick that pops up in the reports.
Most of us that have nothing to do with child porn don't either, Maggie. So you're in good company.
Oh, okay. So is it just for that or what?
No, it's like WhatsApp and Messenger and any other app. You can, but the thing is that they're supposed to be like end-to-end encrypted messages.
Yes.
But somehow it gets filtered into their system and it pops up in their system. And then they report it to the HSI, which is the Homeland Security Investigations. And that's how it all starts.
Yeah.
Well, again, my thing is, did he use city resources to distribute child pornography? And I think that's another one of the questions that needs to be answered. And look, and I understand Mayor Mendez, and I had this conversation with Commissioner Los Santos, and he said, we're going to come out with a statement. The other thing that concerned me about the statement is that both of these individuals are, and hear me out, both of these individuals are too close to the middies.
Too close
to be the ones that are going to be investigating to give the information.
Which two individuals? De Los Santos and Trey?
And Trey Mendez, because again, and look.
But didn't you have, right? You said you had a meeting with De Los Santos.
Let me finish my thought before I lose it. Because Frankie, you know about this, Frankie. Immediately, because Frankie worked in the court system, immediately you recuse yourself, Frankie, when there might be a hint of you being involved in some way, shape, or form. You have to step aside. And think of this. Roy de los Santos is a member of the MIDI Foundation, a board member. He still gets paid from the MIDI Foundation. And I'm not saying that anything wrong is going there, but automatically exclude yourself. But he's not excluding himself, because then Mayor Mendez says, me and Commissioner Los Santos are going to take this by the horn. Well, wait a minute. You're selling property to the MIDI district. This is the child of the MIDI district CEO or manager. Frankie, you've been in the court system for a while, on both sides, but on the court system, Frankie, shouldn't you be stepping aside and let other commissioners or other independent auditors or investigators do the handling?
Like a non-biased person.
A non-biased person instead of the mayor and the city commission? No?
Yeah, in a perfect world, but it's the city of Brownsville, guys. Come on. And
we can't lower the standards just the city of Brownsville.
Well, no, I'm not saying to lower the standards, but look at our standards. Look at Roy de los Santos, and I hate to say this, I thought he was the next great thing, the big white hope that we had in our commission. And look, everything that he's been doing, has been going against the will of the people, so to speak. But we all know how this is going to go. They're going to find no appearance of impropriety. They're going to find nothing was wrong on Molstad. You know, he wasn't using Wi-Fi internet. They're going to say whatever they want. Again, they want to try and push because, again, this might lead into litigation. What if something happens that, you know, the parents of the child, of that 3-month-old child that he was distributing, finds out that he was doing it while being on county time, on city time? They're going to want to sue and I don't know what, and da-da-da. So they're going to want to distance themselves as much as possible from this. Does it look bad that Roy Los Santos being involved with, you know, the museum, being involved with the MIDI Foundation, being a commissioner? Yes, it is very bad. But again, guys, what do we expect from our elected officials? They themselves are the ones that throw everything under the rug. So it shouldn't really shock us. You know, what's shocking more is that nobody's making a fuss about this. You know, it just seems to be like,
we are.
You know, hey, it's just the city of Brownsville politics, so to speak. So that's unfortunate.
Well, and I'm glad you mentioned that. This is what really trips me out, because he wants to claim, and he's getting his people ready to say, well, you know, Erasmo's just doing it because of the politics, because, you know, no, it's not because of the politics. It's because it's wrong. Just do what's right. Mm-hmm. You know, and I've said this before, and I'm going to continue to say it, and I'll stand by it. I want to come out here, guys, and say, hey, man, look at all this great stuff that's going on. Mm-hmm. You know. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about books, and let's look. There's Sam may mention in regards to this friend of mine, Gilberto's Hernandez's library, that Buo. You know, that's great stuff, and you know, I want to see it, and I'm glad that there's other people that are concerned, and you know, because we don't have a bookstore, that's the kind of the stuff we want to promote. But all of this stuff, and we haven't even gone into talking about that the Camille Playhouse, you know, the Camille Playhouse report, where they went out there and said, well, wait a minute, we disagree with the city of Brownsville trying to cut our funds. Why is the city of Brownsville cutting the funds of the Camille Playhouse? Why aren't more people up in arms and upset? You know, they want to cut the Camille Playhouse. Why is it always fine arts takes a hit? Why? The Camille Playhouse, they want them to pay back some of the money that they got. Why?
And weren't they giving like a recommendation or like consultation from the city themselves, or like the audit? Like on the paper it says that they were told what to do, and then they were still considered like non-exempt,
because that's exactly what they do. Because, and look, and I'm finally glad that these individuals from the Camille Playhouse, they're opening their eyes. I'm finally glad. But and you know, I don't want to scare them away. I'm glad that y'all are finally opening your eyes. But we've been saying this for years. Frankie's been screaming about this for years. Maggie, we've all been here screaming about this for years now. Years. I'm glad, guys, that finally the people at Camille Playhouse is starting to bless. My concern is because it's hurting them. Now they're being vocal. And we go back to that, Frankie and Maggie, we've talked about this one before. It's like it's that little poem. It's a poem or this little story that says, they came for the Polish, and I said nothing. They came for these, and I said nothing. It's the same thing in the city of Brownsville. They came for Erasmo, and I said nothing. You know, screw Erasmo. We don't like him either. Then they came for Maggie, and then they came for Frankie, and last they came for Sam. You know, and then all of a sudden they came for the Camille Playhouse money. You know, but then
there was nobody left behind to stand up for you. Hang on. Mr. Boop, yes, I've had people tell me that I could apply for my parents' provider. So we're looking at that. Then somebody else before, there was another comment you said that I wanted to stop it. Yeah, I know, right? We should now become to the mighty prophet, or the mighty prophet.
That's me.
There was another one that I wanted to ask. But then the other thing is, okay, I don't know if that was, you were going too fast for me. But the other thing is, okay, so Erasmo says, well, or they say that Erasmo's doing it because he wants political attention. So if he does, what? I don't, and I'm here upset about it. Snoopy doesn't, and Snoopy's upset about it. So just because Erasmo's bringing it up and you don't like it, and Erasmo's a thorn in your side and you don't like it, that doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it okay for you to say, well, he's just being negative. And that's the thing. That's the problem, is that you guys, And by you guys, I mean city commissioners and city officials and some of our leaders. You guys think that Erasmo's the only one who's upset about it, and he's not. And he's not. And I now know because I have people come and tell me stuff on the side after work, during work.
Well,
And
on
I have
that
people
note,
come in and
I asked
whisper and
about the
say,
audit.
huh?
Did you see that I asked them about the audit for QB? Supposedly they have an external auditor working on it, and it should be ready by May.
Hasta May.
Remember, the one that we've been asking for?
They said that last year.
So remember in
Well,
May.
I'm a screenshot that thing. I'm gonna hold him to it. And it was Cowan, the one that replied.
All right. So yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Because I wanted to make sure we were caught up with the comments because you were zooming by them all.
I was trying. I didn't know how many.
Frankie, do you have anything else to say? And can you please come back the mornings because I, like other people, like listening to your podcast in the morning while I'm getting ready for work. I'm walking the dogs, and I used to listen to your live.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on maybe like in the next week or so. I got what I needed. I was waiting on something from Amazon, and I got it. I'm trying to do well, I'm not gonna let y'all know what I'm gonna do next, but I'm trying to do a little bit different setup, a little different view. I'm still working the kinks out, but we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Go on. Oh, I know which one's the other one. Miss Perez, yes, I have been buying supplies for a lot of my hobbies, so now I'll have time to take care of the hobbies. Go on, sorry.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Because Miss Perez said
oh, because I asked her about her retirement and to see what she's going to do afterwards.
Yes, and then Dolores Perez said something about she was setting up her hobbies for when she retired. So you need something to be keeping you busy when you retire. I've got the inventory. Now I need the time because at some point about 20 years ago, someone told me you buy the stuff when you have money to work on it when you have the time, because right now you have the money but you don't have the time, and when you retire you'll have the time but not the money. So I'm set.
Is this a good time to ask you for a loan?
No, I have inventory. I don't have cash. I need like 3 lifetimes to go through all my inventory of stuff that I want to stitch and sew. Hey, Miss Amanda.
But you said you had money.
I didn't say I had money.
Didn't she just say she had money, Sam?
When you have money, which is when I was working 20 years ago,
you buy right now it's just pure inventory, but no time.
Money, but I don't have time.
This is in transition right now.
Yes.
She had the money, but she already bought the material. But now she's just waiting for the time.
Why am I the only smart one here?
Whatever.
No more ties for it. So no.
Selective listening.
You better believe it.
Yeah, I still feel like I have to go buy him a tie.
But yeah, man, what I was telling Maggie earlier was that I went through that HSI website of like when they do the reports of the people being arrested, and I kid you not, man, I saw like about 5 or 6 cases of the same thing, which was like downloading and redistributing the child pornography.
Oh yeah, I was seeing that, and again, one of the things that I think that's going to be amazing about this case is to see how it slowly starts to unravel. I think the only thing that I think is kind of sad is how late in the game our local media is, and they had a missed opportunity, slowly themselves start to unravel this and do a little bit of, just a little bit of an investigative journalist, because talking about what Maggie was saying, they have the resources, they have the money, they have a news giant, this AIM media behind them. They could have used those resources in order to do just an ounce of investigative reporting, and they refused to because they were covering up for the mayor and the commission and everything.
Yeah, but it's like the Collegian. I'm pretty sure they're the ones paying for their ads.
100%.
So they can't do reporting bashing people who are buying the ads.
But then you're not a newspaper. You're not the media. You are just an advertising junkie. Give us your opinion of each of the city commission. Who is good, or bad, or just lame? Right now, and I'll start off. Right now, I am concerned with everyone out there because not one single commissioner. They all knew. Not one single commissioner, Daniel, told us the truth. Not a one. And that's concerning. No one was outraged suffice to come say, Houston, we have a problem. So for me right now, they're all in the timeout box.
Huh. What was the previous comment?
And now the weather.
No. Oh, I thought there was another one. Sorry. Go on.
I have 20 ties
That.
for-
Oh, that. Yeah. Did you see that at Erasmo? They have 20 ties for you.
Yes, I appreciate that. Hey, me and Sam need days. Anyone retiring willing to donate?
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I have no days. I'm at like -15. But I was wondering about that, and so we can start spreading the news also.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard of one person who's retiring has got like 50 days. So I'll bring that up to them.
Thank you. And if y'all can make a post or something, I'll share it. And what's the difference between cook and wash? Not that we know anything about that, Frank. Nothing. Nada. No, the other thing I think that I find that was concerning in regards to the mayor is that he goes on these little tirades, and again, I mean, I wasn't being snarky, I wasn't being vicious. He goes on these tirades when I start mentioning about the problem with the street there next to our church, and he goes like, "Well, isn't it right there next to your family's church?" I'm going like, "Well, yeah, that's why I noticed it." And then in that post, everyone else in the city of Brownsville was mentioning how bad it was at their place over here and over there and over there. But again, the reason I see this is because I see it regularly because I go to church there. I don't think there's any irony in
But
that.
that street's been like that for decades.
Decades. So I go like, guys, this is the problem with the streets. And I tag the mayor, the city commissioners, city of Brownsville. And he comes out, well, you neglected to say that was next to your family's church. Why does that matter? But he wants to, make a point like, oh, he's just interested in his streets. And I don't know, I think someone said, well, what about the streets in front of the city commissioner's house? And I think Sam's comment was good. You're not going to find a damn pothole in front of a city commissioner's house. Oh, you're not. Well, the rest of us in the city of Brownsville, we suffered through the mess that I posted up there. And a lot of other people may mention of because we are not part of that clique. We are not the orange ticket holders. We are the blue ticket holders. And I'm very glad that towards the end, I think the mayor snapped, caught on and started saying, we're going to address it. I'm going to see where it is in line. And that's the type of...
And that's the type of response we need. And you know what? I'm thinking, Mayor, you need to type it in, look at it for a minute, and then erase everything you wanted to say and don't send out. Don't.
Are y'all talking about Trump or who are you talking about?
No.
That's Erasmo's job.
Yeah, it's our local Trump.
Brownsville Trump. I'm glad people out with the streets that needed fixing, and Sam was like, list them all, please. Yes. And again, guys, you're going to get a massive list. And Sam had made mention some time back in regards to the streets over there by Rivera. They're a mess. Southmost, down Ruiz, down 27th, down 25th Street. They are a mess,
It's like something I had mentioned to the city manager over here in the Fresnos, and because I brought it to his attention. I'm like, hey man, there's several streets that need attention, and he was like, oh, right away, we're just waiting to finish on 100 and we're gonna start on the rest, and there's a list. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good to know that there's already a list of streets that you're gonna get fixed. Something like that will be good for the city of Brownsville to where they can see hey, where am I at on the line,
Yes.
Or at least hey, at least you have me on the list,
Yes.
It's getting done, or it's being at least thought about, not just left for dead like over here in Rivera that hasn't seen anything new in decades.
I think Sam, you and I should start our own little, I'm telling you, our own little Facebook website where we just drive around. Give me 3 more months and we just drive around looking for and posting and giving people a chance to post it.
Well,
yeah, because I know even there's even areas that need to be beautified, like how they has a committee of beautification. But because in the palm trees from the Price and Frontage, the one by Jack in the Box, all the I guess what whatever you call it from the palm trees that falls down. It just stays there for like weeks on end.
The fronds.
Prawns. But let me say, I have a friend of mine who has made mention. Actually, she's posted on it. She wants to do that project with someone. So maybe y'all need to get in contact with Catherine, because Catherine wants to go around and take pictures of all these streets and how badly damaged they are, and all the the unfavorable situation. And I go like, Catherine, you're going to need a lot of time. But maybe y'all can.
But no joke. We mentioned Galveston Street or Galveston Road, and the following day it was done. No joke. So maybe if you can just say it here, or since they're watching the show,
But that's
put the name of the street in the comments. So hopefully they write it down.
But that's what really irks my chain. And I understand the mayor's frustration that we have to call out stuff in order for stuff to get done. I understand his frustration. Then take care of stuff so that we don't have to calling out stuff, and just do your job. Y'all were elected for this. You all were elected to oversee that the city of Brownsville is managed properly. And look, at the end of the day, I'm not blaming the mayor and the city commission for not going out there and cleaning the stuff. That's why they have a whole city that they've hired, and they're paying handsomely, because they're paying the city manager's office like over $1 million in salaries, not even talking about consulting fees yet. But all this money out there, make sure that they're doing their job, because that's what we elected you to do. To go out there and make sure
it's true. I don't want to be on the show complaining about how Brownsville is. I'm with Erasmo. I want to be on the show talking about what the latest greatest.
You want to talk about the third mural being all about Brownsville?
Yeah. I want to be spending all this time about the new bookstore coming up, because I don't have enough books.
And he's gonna have a coffee shop too.
I know. And then so it's gonna have a place. I was thinking, I wonder how many people in Brownsville went. Now we have a place that our book club can go sit at. Because I know there's multiple places. One person did make a comment on their post that their book club is gonna have a place to go to. And there's multiple book clubs in Brownsville.
And imagine they had like a book signing from like a popular author. That'd be nice. Yep.
And we have authors here. I mean, Joe Rodriguez, Maggie. I mean,
yes.
I'm still waiting on the Erasmo book.
Yeah, he was.
It's coming. It's coming. It's almost there.
I had forgotten he was going to write one. Orale.
Joe Rodriguez. I mean, has written some amazing books. I've actually 75% read one because they're big books. Yes. What the third mural? No third mural. My friends, I was asked this question. Hope this one finds you well. A Westlake neighbor cleared the brush across the Saca, which they're not allowed to touch. Do you know how we can go about filing an official complaint? Any help of this subject would be greatly appreciated. Ms. Miller, 546 help. But again, as much as a Trey may hate this, the best resource the city of Brownsville has is my page.
I was going to say is the Erasmo page. I was about to say that.
But still, don't hesitate to write you can submit it online, the 546 help. There's an online, I guess, application or whatever you call it to submit it, and just screenshot it and just email it to him or send out messages. That way he can take a look at it. Because unless you put him on blast, he won't do anything about it.
Say this and say it 2 or 3 times. Repeat it.
Un favor, me vendes como si fuera de tu dinero. It's our exactly, and that's the point. Because Yasmin is 100% correct. We pool our money, and let me say, we pool our money.
I think she mentioned that she's from the Rivera area. I think that's what she said earlier.
Okay, we pool our money, and by our money, I mean tax dollars. I mean federal monies that come our way through grants and through charity, and Elon Musk money. It is not your money, man. It is not the city commission's money. It is the people of Brownsville's money. So it needs to be used. They all need to be used for Brownsville as a whole, not just downtown.
My daughter wants to apply for a job, and she was like, okay, I figured it out. If I work this many hours, and hang on, because I wanted Erasmo to say it back, but I want him to say it with his voice. My daughter said, okay, if I work this many hours, then I'll make like $700. in this much time. And I said, then minus taxes. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, after that, you have to take off a certain percent of taxes. And she says, well, how much? I said, about 28% is a good amount to figure out, so that if it's average. And she's like, wait a minute. I'm gonna only end up with this amount. And I'm like, hey girl, you're driving around in nice streets, decent. We're paying for the police officers and the firemen. That's where your taxes go. So get over yourself. You want to make money? You're going to have to remember that that's where our money goes. And what she said is right, is no te estamos pidiendo un favor. No es tu dinero. Para eso querías el trabajo. Para eso fuiste y corriste de ser el mayor de la escuela, de la ciudad.
Y ahora se fresean.
Yes, y ahora se insulta porque le estamos diciendo que vaya y cuide la calle. And I don't know why I switched over to Spanish. Hey, Jimmy.
But again, we're not asking for anything that is not ours.
Amen.
It's ours. And that is why I tell people, do not tag stuff. Do not damage city property. It's yours. It's your city, guys. This is your city. It's your county. It's yours. It's not the mayor's.
It's like when people are asking back for that money from PUB. It's already yours.
It's your money because you put into it in order to get a Tenasca plant. You didn't get a Tenasca plant, so you want your money back. And, you have a right to want your money back. That's what really trips me out, because they seem to think that you're asking them for a favor. We're not. We're just asking.
Hey, and before people start leaving, because it's already like past 10, like the YouTube page.
Oh, yes. I can't see it right now.
Please.
Get yourself an 1099. But again, what
yes, thank you.
I'm very, very proud, very, very proud of all the parents out there, the moms that have reached out to me. I'm very, very proud of all the community leaders who have reached out to me. I'm very proud of the principals from the schools that have reached out to me. Because again, to Mayor Mendez, Commissioner Santos, and anybody else out there, if y'all think this is an Erasmo thing, you're missing the point. And that's unfortunate.
Absolutely, 100%. Yes. Yeah, you'd be surprised. I think if the elected officials and all our leaders found out the percentage of people that are really not happy with what you're doing, I think you would freak out at the percentage of people that are not happy. You might have your little grupito, your little clica that encourages you and says, nice job, way to go. But the majority of us, or not, maybe not the majority of us, but a whole bunch of us.
Well, I'm going to say that the majority of us, the problem is that there's the silent majority who have no access, have no access to say, to demand. And a lot of the people here in Brownsville don't know any better. They've been made to feel this isn't your city. You're here de arrimado, and it's a biblical principle. You're not an arrimado. You have a seat at the table. That's the table. And this is I know Sam doesn't know anything about this. It's a spiritual, biblical thing.
Never heard it.
Yeah,
I might know a little bit.
That seat at the table is yours as a child of the Most High. There's a seat at the table that's yours, people of Brownsville, Cameron County. It's yours. It's got your name on it. You were given that name. It's yours. Accept it for what it is. Take it. Make it yours. And don't let no one tell you any different. And if you do, you better believe I'm going to be out here screaming my lungs out. You hit it right on the spot, all of you. Sam, are you having more kids? Please no.
As of right now, no. That we know of, no.
Even Sam, even Roma, who's not here, and if Trey would embrace the complaints as an opportunity to acknowledge the areas of concern, there's the chance. Yes.
Yeah, but the way he sees it, he doesn't make money off of those complaints, but he does make money off of the sales of houses that he's selling to the middies.
And that's unfortunate. He makes money off of bringing the city's resources and putting it on his doorstep. That's how he makes money, how the Limas make money, how the city commissioners make money, because they take what is yours and they put it at their feet. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You mean us regular people, us blue ticket holders. Guys, thank y'all for subbing, starting off for me. I was really at a church function. Hey, Maggie, did I tell you what happened?
With what?
They sent me a video of you at school.
What was I doing?
Let me show you.
Who took the video? I only hit myself one time. Did I tell you, Sam?
No.
I was walking down the hallway and I turned back to say something to a kid and boom, hit my head. It's still bruised. It still hurts. And then I went back to with a friend to see like how did I fall? What did I do? And I slipped off the sidewalk. 3 hours later, and I'm
It
like,
was not your day.
I trip on my own feet all the time. No, and that yesterday I actually snapped my neck back and my back was hurting. That was like I'm in bed.
For some reason,
That's funny though.
in this light, my nose gets red. Or unless you're talking about it being crooked, I hate you. If you notice at the banquet, they didn't share it, nothing to show Bianca welcoming kiddos. But all I saw was, wow, look at what our taxpayer money brought. Wow, that's the only time I can buy something expensive for someone else. And that's the rest of the story. Guys, continue to unite out there. Continue to fight. I mean, continue to send in information. As they will still be here. As much as I want to travel and do a lot of the stuff that's fun for me, I can't. I need to be here.
Stimpy, you a lot of your comments.
Well, Erasmo did go through it like 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, is that it? You mean like they're getting skipped because somebody kept pulling a veto, or not?
What do you mean? You mean?
Yes, you were like click.
No,
click.
that was Erasmo. Like when he got in here, he started going through them real quick.
That was Erasmo. I thought that was you.
In the beginning, when it was just me, you, and Frankie, that was me. And then Erasmo came in here and he was like, "Let's speed the process."
And I think tonight we proved the fact that we really don't need Erasmo all the time.
Just sometimes you make the connections.
Yes, that's what we need. Is we need the one that makes the connections.
We have a whole lot of pieces like the puzzle, which is someone is like, "Hey, this one goes over here."
Yes, that's a good point.
It's el primo de aquel juez.
Tomorrow is the farmers market. I'm hoping that this lady's there. She's a teacher who's been selling lotion, alpaca. What is it? Alpaca soaps. She does lotion and soaps. She's a teacher. She's also getting ready to retire. Her stuff is yummy, delicious, not to eat. It just smells good. She does face scrubs. She's wonderful. Her stuff is wonderful. If you guys see the alpaca soaps, I highly recommend. They even have like dog soaps.
Why would you call it delicious?
Oh, because
it's like, why are they called alpaca soaps? Like, why are they called alpaca soaps?
I think she just chose that brand because I don't think they use like alpaca milk or alpaca products.
I see like goat milk soaps.
Yeah, I thought about doing that too. I considered getting goats when I retire and milking them and making goat's milk soaps. Whatever it is, Mo, you have cats, lick your mouth.
I don't milk my cats.
Yeah, but you let them lick your mouth.
They lick my mouth?
They lick your mouth.
They lick my mouth?
Don't they? I'm just saying it. I figured you'd say, how do you know?
What is that, Maggie?
I don't know. You make out with your cats. I was just saying that.
From that app.
It's an app. Stop it. It's I love my pet app.
There's an app for that.
Yes, there is. There might be.
Guys,
go to the farmer's market tomorrow. Look for the alpaca soaps. They're good.
Let her know if she'll stop by the office and drop some off for me. I'll buy some.
I'll pick them up for you.
Okay.
You want like soaps or lotions?
I like the soaps.
There's a face scrub also that is wonderful.
She puts the lotion in the basket.
And what is it?
It puts the lotion in the basket.
and it's rub itself. What's the rest of it?
It puts the lotion in the basket. If someone sets up the Pulga with a comp and announces that you're the right up the messed up streets, they will line up 100%.
Oh, that you're there to ride up the messed up streets.
That'd be
That's a
crazy.
great idea.
Yeah, no kidding. Right, Sam?
There you go. Instead of, but how are you gonna get pictures?
No, look, what you do is you walk around with a clipboard and you say, okay, I didn't know, Lolita. I was just saying, like, to give Erasmo a hard time about how much he loves his cats. If you walk around with a clipboard, get lists, and then ask them to later on send it to the Facebook. I don't know. I'm coming up with this idea that I want to do it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it makes sense. We just gotta like have a way how to like add the picture to it.
Yeah.
Have a conversation with Catherine. She's amazing. I love her.
Did you tell her we've been saying this already? That we had brought it up, or no? You didn't tell her. There's other people who have that idea too.
No, I think when she sent me the message, I said, yeah, it's that, maybe get in tune with Maggie and Sam. I think I did say that. You could ask, maybe. Guys,
back. Wait, go back real quick. Yeah.
Guys, have a great evening, and thank y'all guys for sub. And guys, I probably won't be on tomorrow morning at 9:00 in the morning. I have a wedding at 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11, 12. I got a mess of the weddings tomorrow. Actually, they got a lot of work. I want a little bit of time for myself. We'll be back Monday at 9 a.m. in the morning for sure.
So guys, just keep it at that. Don't just show up at 9:00 with a video. It's Monday for sure at 9. There's no Saturday.
There's no Saturday, guys. No Sunday. It's Monday at 9 a.m. Guys, have a great evening. Have a great weekend, guys. Guys, be good to each other and continue to be good to me. God bless.
Good night.